Excellent!
What's up everyone, and welcome to my continuing coverage of Computex 2015. Big thank you to my sponsors, of course, MSI, G-Skill, and Cooler Master. They're the ones who sent me here. We're going to take a look at some excellent PC hardware, as you can probably see right behind me. Actually, you know, my bad. These are the Terracotta Warriors in Xi'an, China. Just one sec. Alright, that's better. I am now here at actual Computex in Taiwan, and I'm at the MSI booth, of course. They are my sponsor, but they also have a ton of cool products here. But let's head inside and let's take a look at maybe some motherboards, maybe some graphics cards. That sounds good, yeah? Guys, we're checking out the MSI booth. I'm going to start off by looking at some motherboards, and then we're going to move on to some graphics cards in this section of the video because they have all those things. So I was introduced to a lot of these boards over here, and I'm going to start with ones that actually have been out, but they have some new versions. Specifically, a lot of these have been updated to support USB 3.1. So there's an X99A SLI Crate Edition. There's also a Z97A SLI Crate Edition. And they even have a 970 SLI Crate Edition. All of these have black and white color schemes. They've all been updated to support USB 3.1, so faster transfer speeds. And they also have well, lots of other features besides that, but if I go over all those, we're never going to have enough time for this video. Now, if you're not into the black and white, you can also get an all black color scheme with the X99A SLI Plus. These are standard ATX motherboards. We also have an X99A Raider down here. That's a new one. And at the bottom is the A68HM Grenade, which has a fancy name, and this one I've been told has LED lights at the four corners that light up. But if you're looking for something a little bit more budget on the FM2 Plus socket, that's a good option. Here's a really low power board that I thought was kind of interesting, the N3050i Eco. This one comes with an integrated Celeron processor. It uses about 6 watts of power, and it's still a full computer. So if you're looking for an integrated solution or just something that's super low power, it uses SO-DIMM slots and some more mobile hardware integrated with that one. Moving on to something that I think maybe you guys are more interested in though, next generation stuff. Skylake, socket 1151. There's a couple chipsets that we're seeing here. There's the B150 over on the left, which is going to be a little bit more on the budget side, and they have the Z170, which is the chipset that probably most of you guys are interested in. So you can see they have a few different form factors here. The B150M is kind of like a, well, it's micro ATX technically, but it's a truncated version. Here at the top is the Z178 G43, so this is probably going to be like your standard workhorse motherboard from MSI. It's all black, got some basic heat sinks on there. This is going to come in at a lower price point, so if you're looking to jump into Skylake, this is going to be a good option for you. Moving down here, we have the Z178 PC Mate. This one has a little bit more integration of, like, say for instance, the audio down here. These all, of course, still support USB 3.0 as well. I'm sorry, USB 3.1 as well, and they're giving you next gen stuff like integrating turbo M.2 slots for fast next generation storage. Down here at the bottom is the H170M Pro. This is a micro ATX board, so if you're looking for a slightly smaller system to set up, that's another great option for you. And I really like the kind of basic color scheme they've gone with for all these, just keeping things black, so it's going to integrate with a lot of systems. If you want to customize and make up your own color scheme, you can do that pretty easily. But these are just mainstream boards. They also have gaming motherboards, including the Godlike. Why don't we go over and take a look at that one? Guys, here's a demo that they have set up with the X99A SLI Plus. I know I told you I was going to show the Godlike, but this is a cool demo, so I wanted to pop in here real quick. Now, MSI has updated their motherboard series even down to the Z97 and the AMD line as well. So they all have NVMe support, which means that you can have support for like new NVMe drives, such as the Intel 750, which is tucked right in there. They've also got a Plex store going on. So they support what is now being called the U.2 standard, which is like that little SAS port that you pop into an M.2 slot and gives you NVMe via the M.2. That's kind of like what this little 750 series SSD down here does. Also, these are already like updated or validated for Windows 10. Check that out. Windows 10 hardware certification is already there. And if you're interested in what kind of performance you can get, Well, here's the demo up here. We can see 2,300 megabytes per second reads and over 1,000 megabytes per second writes. Very impressive. So I promised to show you guys the Godlike motherboard, and here it is. It's kind of dark, but that's because this one's actually showing the LEDs that are scattered around the motherboard. Yeah, you can control them via like a tablet or something. It connects via Bluetooth, and then there's a little app you can connect to the board. So right now it's flashing randomly, as you can maybe see. But then if you pull up the app, you can change the colors.
You change the color. Use this.
All right. So there's a little color wheel. Alright, so 2048 colors are available via the LEDs, and you can of course control the different ones around the board. There's different modes. You can do breathing mode, you can do random mode, and there's even a connection where you can set it up to connect with like music that you have playing, and that will allow it to like throb and beat in time with the music, which is pretty sweet too. But it's pretty dark in here, so let me show you guys. Actually no, before I move on to the next section, check this out too. Bits Power, in collaboration with MSI, has already set up a really cool looking chipset and CPU block for this. This is all one unit, and if you would take this and it would go on like there, and that'd be pretty sweet. So good job, Bits Power. That's a really sweet looking block right there. And combine that with the LEDs, and you got a pretty banging motherboard, right? There's more specs and stuff to talk about though, but I'm gonna move over here for that because this one's on the wall and there's a little bit more light. So the X99A Godlike Gaming is a flagship, new flagship X99 motherboard from MSI. It's EATX, as you can see. It's a black and red color scheme. It has USB 3.1. They've done a bunch of stuff with the audio to improve your audio experience, including putting a freaking quarter inch gold-plated jack on the back for your high-end headphones, for example. It's got integrated killer NICs as well as 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, and you can actually use the software to team these all up together, and that will allow you to basically prioritize your whether you're like if you're doing a video game and streaming at the same time and downloading stuff, it will prioritize all that for you and do the high priority stuff in there first. You also have, for example, USB 3.1 via a Type A connector and a Type C connector, which I think is fantastic because not everyone has Type C yet for USB 3.1, so you can choose which one of those you want, or break them off with the splitter or something. They've also added like frickin' steel. This is actually steel reinforced PCI slots, so if you're like transporting your system around or something like that, it's going to be a lot sturdier for you. And then just the overall look of it. I mean, to say nothing of the LEDs that we were just showing, but the black and red overall, they got this kind of covered protective housing there. Oh, the steel also is not just for durability and rigidity, but it also provides some electromagnetic interference shielding as well. That's pretty cool. So that's the Godlike X99A from MSI, and that's a pretty beastly motherboard. I'm gonna see if they'll give me one, and I'll do a full review on it maybe in the future. It's supposed to be coming in Q3 as far as I know. MSI also has a Gaming Series Z170 motherboard up here. This is a prototype. They might be updating the design of this, so I don't have a whole lot to say about it except that it supports Skylake, socket 1151, USB 3.1 is also included here. You'll notice USB 3.1 support being a very common theme. In fact, a lot of these other motherboards that are on the wall here are models that have already been out, whether you're talking Z97 or X99, but they've updated them. They've added the A, see, A right there, and that means that they now have USB 3.1 support. A lot of them are also including USB Type-C connectors too, so it's great to see the updated connectivity. I'm just going to kind of scan over these and let me know if you guys see one that you think is really cool. The X-Power AC has been updated as well, X99A, X-Power AC, and then this one down here, which has, oh look, won an award, Best Choice Award for Computex. This is the Gaming 9 ACK, also an X99. This one has now been eclipsed by the Godlike, of course, but if you're looking for maybe not quite as high-end, but you still want high-end X99, the Gaming 9 ACK is a fantastic choice, and this motherboard has been really well received. And ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, graphics cards. That's right. Not to say anything bad about motherboards. Motherboards are cool. We like motherboards, but graphics cards we're pretty excited about. Now these you've probably all seen before. MSI has their Twin Frozer 5 cooler design, which they've been slapping onto GTX 980s and GTX 970s. They've made these green editions to celebrate them selling, I think, 100 million NVIDIA GPUs, which is pretty cool too. And they even have a gold one down here, which is pretty cool looking as well. But what's new? Let's talk about that. They have SLI bridges now. Check these out. So you can see the big boy over there, which is a 3-way SLI, and then this logo here in the center will light up. If you look at them from the side, you can actually see the spacing, maybe. Yeah, so this one's actually going to put a bit of a gap. There's a demo I'm going to show you guys in just a second. But you got a 1, 3, and then I think 6 or 7 down there. They also have these 2-way, which are probably going to be a little bit more practical. 2-way is a lot more common than 3-way, for example. But depending on your spacing, whether you've got 2-slot spacing like that or 3-slot spacing, you have that option. These plug in and pull directly, pull power directly from that SLI bridge, or from the SLI finger, and the LED lights up on the inside. But you know what? You know what is really cool? GTX 980 Gaming 6G. That's right. The new 980 Ti, I mean. GTX 980 Ti Gaming 6G with the Twin Frozer 5 cooler. MSI is overclocking this about 20% from the factory clocks from NVIDIA. It's got 6 gigs of memory, and it's got pretty much the same GPU core, the GM200, that the 980, that the Titan X has. There's a demo with the 3-way configuration of these, so let's go look at that. So there she is. In this in-win D-frame case, we have this demo setup, which is this is the X99A Gaming 9 ACK motherboard that I already talked to you guys a little bit about. And then this is a 3-way GTX 980 Ti configuration, which everyone is probably very jealous of right now. Now they're using their new SLI bridge, so you can see the spacing on these leaves a little bit of a gap here. That does provide a little bit of airflow, but depending on your feel about the aesthetics, you may or may not be interested in that. But let me know in the comments what you think of that. In any case, I do like the bridge in general, and I do like the 2-way ones at least, because they can keep things spaced out a little bit more reasonably, I suppose. But other than that, here's a look at like the top of the 980 Ti G1 Gaming 6G. They have backplates on them. They have all of the kind of colors and everything that you saw with the Twin Frozer 5. And now in the 980 Ti. These are going to be available within about a month, so we're looking at like late June or possibly July time frame, so keep an eye out for those. I'm sure they'll be available on like all of the good retailers. And then what they're actually using them for right here is a Project Cars demo, which isn't really doing anything right now, but these are 3 4K monitors that are all running the game, and with 6 gigs per card, it's actually quite smooth. I don't know if I can do anything. Can I drive? Oh look, here, I'll drive. I'm driving with one hand while I film. Look how good I am at driving with one hand while look how amazing this is. It's quite, I would say it's smooth, except I'm spinning out, and I've never played this game before. And I hear it's fairly like realistic, so that's why I'm probably sucking terribly at it. But even so, what do you guys think? Maybe I should get this game. I heard Jay's been playing it. Seems like fun. Super smooth though. I mean, it's just 3x4K, for example. Oh, I crashed. Hey guys, I'm over here at Cooler Master, and this little segment is going to be all about the Mastercase. That's right. It is the world's first mid-size modular tower with exterior expandability. Cooler Master's motto this year, their new sub-tagline is "Make it yours," and that's what they've been going for with this case. Now, it's going to be available in a few different trims. This one right here is the most basic of them. So you're going to have what is the Mastercase 5, and that's what they're showing off right now. You also have the Mastercase Pro 5, that's what I'm going to be focusing on. They have a Mastercase Maker 5, but even if you get just the basic level Mastercase 5 down here, you can basically upgrade it to the other versions by doing add-ons and expandability expandability and that sort of thing. So you can see here, handles on top, real big thick side panels, plenty of ventilation at the front, and your pretty standard like vertical ATX layout. But they've done some new stuff here as far as expandability and convertibility and adaptability that is really, really quite impressive. So moving on over here, this is the Mastercase Pro. I think it's got most of the hardware installed, but not all of what it's actually going to be available. But let's start off with the modularity. For example, this entire front panel can be removed and replaced. Right now it's USB 3. You could upgrade it to USB 3.1 when that's available, for example. This one comes with the handles at the front and the back, but it also comes with this panel at the top. You notice that the other Mastercase over there did not have that. This will include a radiator bracket, and I believe this pops off. Yes, it does. So radiator bracket up top, and that will allow you to install, for instance, your 240 or 280 millimeter radiator, and you can then just drop this whole thing in. You'll notice it just attaches with thumb screws on the side. Very, very well designed. I like things that allow you to do something like a radiator mounting outside the case, for example. You still have these really strong, sturdy metal handles, so you can pick up the case and move it around. You'll notice, of course, your Cooler Master standards, like the really excellent internal paint job, big old cutout for a CPU, backplate, and of course the construction overall. And let me just pull up the side panel here. Is really, really well constructed. They use really thick gauge steel. There's very little flex in the side panels, and you might notice that the Pro version here comes with a window integrated. It's smoked, and there's also a little blackout piece at the bottom of it. I thought this was kind of cool. So this little panel across the bottom is just a blackout, but if you want to be able to see into the power supply chamber at the bottom, you can just remove it. Or you could even do something like customize this and maybe do a cutout with it or something like that, or I don't know, do some logos on there. Other than that though, big old smoky side panel acrylic window, and then you got stuff like, you know, captured thumb screws, and focus. Captured thumb screws that actually have like really thick internal screw threading, which I thought was nice. They're not going to strip on you, which is kind of a pet peeve of mine with the captured thumb screws. Internally, you'll notice there's no drive cages in here, but the basic level one is going to come with a single drive cage. The Pro that we're looking at now will come with 2 drive cages. Those are all modular, so you notice these chambers along the left side and the right side. Drive cages will just basically pop in right there, so you can shift them up and down as much as you want, depending on whether you want more airflow or more room for longer graphics cards. So you got a ton of drive support, of course. That's just a bracket sitting in there. You also have these little stealth SSD cages, which are very simple. You just pop the SSD in, drop it in like so, and then screw that down. You can fit 2 right here, or if you flip it around in the back, there's a couple more there at the back as well. Cable management is fantastic. We have Velcro strips all the way along this side. There's this little channel running down the side too, so easily tuck away your cables, for example. And what else do we have? We have, of course, removable filters everywhere that you might want a removable filter for all the intakes. So the filter on the back for the power supply, as well as filtration up here for your front intakes. A couple 5 1/4 inch bays up at the top, of course. And then looking down at the bottom, oh look, here's one of those drive cages I was talking about. I don't even know why it was tucked in the bottom there. There's a separate chamber down here for your power supply. It's separated from the rest of the components in the case. And then here's an example of how this drive cage works. So as you can see, drive cage just pops in like that. It's held on with 2 thumb screws at the front. I didn't install them all the way because these are early production samples, and they've been manhandled a lot by some of the media coming through here. Other than that though, you got your cable pass-throughs, you got all the stuff you might expect, toolless drive mounts here, and just a ton of configurability. Now let's move over here to see some of the other versions of this case that they have on display. So here's an example of the Mastercase 5 with a customized side panel window, and I talked to Cooler Master and they're actually planning to produce these. This is tempered glass. Yes folks, not plexi. And with just a simple basic modification up that you pop into the corners, you can have the mounting points for the tempered glass and get a much more high-end look. Granted, it's also very shiny, so you can see lots of reflections right now. And basically an entire view of the case top to bottom from the side. Really, really cool. Now the Mastercase 5 is a mid-tower. They're also working on a Mastercase 7, which is a larger version They have like a all aluminum one over there that they kind of put together as a concept as well. And I'm told they might be doing a Mastercase 3 as well in a smaller form factor, so keep an eye out for that one. Anyway, this has been a bit more of a closer look at Cooler Master and their new Mastercase 5. The Mastercase 5 and Mastercase Pro should be available in the next 1 to 2 months, so keep an eye out for that. Hey guys, I'm stopping by the Orus location here at Taipei 101. They have 3 laptops out here that are brand new. All of them are interesting and fantastic, I'm sure, but I'm really going to mainly focus on one of them. But first, this is the X3 Plus over here, which is a 13-inch with NVIDIA GSync. These all have GSync built in, which is, you might have heard from my GSync coverage, is why they're awesome. There's also a 17-inch version, the X7 Pro Sync right there. And then here's the one in the middle, and this is what I want to focus on because this one's already been recognized by Computex. Actually, you can see maybe right here. Wait, I gotta set this up. There we go, that's better. We got a Best Choice Award, Computex Award, and there's a few reasons for that. One is that it has G-Sync. It's actually got a GTX 965M SLI, so you got 2 GPUs in here in SLI, and NVIDIA's mobile GPUs do a really good job. I mean, they have a really big jump in performance compared to prior mobile GPUs. Apart from that, though, we also have just a 0.9 inches thick, or 2.29 centimeters, 5.51 pounds, or 2.5 kilograms. It's got a 3K IPS display. That's 2880 by 1620. Typically, when I see higher resolutions on laptops, I'm like, why would you do that? It's going to be hard for the laptop to handle it. But with 2 965Ms and SLI, it should do a good job. And you add G-Sync on top of that, and you're going to get nice, smooth gameplay. Look, they're doing a Blizzard Heroes of the Storm demo right now. But here's what makes this laptop really unique and very special. It's the world's first laptop with a live streaming engine built in. So Orus worked with AverMedia to do this. So basically you have a hardware streaming engine built in there. So at a hardware level, that's going to handle your encoding and your streaming if you're streaming to somewhere like Twitch or YouTube. And it's going to take the load off of the CPU, and it's going to give you better performance. So you're not going to have a performance hit when you start streaming with a laptop. That's pretty cool. So again, this is the X5 from Orus, 15-inch gaming laptop with G-Sync. Pretty sweet. Hey guys, I've come over to Roccat. I've been talking with Mikhail. How's it going? Yeah, but I'm going to tell you guys some of the stuff that he told me about this new mouse that they're coming out with. It's going to be available in about 2 months. In the US, it's going to be $119 or $120 US dollars. It is a high-end flagship mouse, kind of to go along with the Roccat Tyon that you guys might have seen me do the video on, I think that was last year. But this is a little bit more geared towards MMO gamers than the Tyon, which was a little bit more geared towards FPS gamers. So let me get a little brighter here for you guys. Now, typical MMO mice have this panel on the side where you can have lots of extra buttons. So we've seen that before. Corsair has one, Razer has one. I'm sure there's others as well that are out there. But Roccat wanted to make this one a little bit more unique. So this whole thing is stinking modular. That is correct. So you can maybe see along the bottom right here edge, there's 4 buttons. There's actually a spot in the center for 4 buttons, and there's spots along the top for 4 buttons. So you can have up to 12 buttons just on the side of this mouse, but you can also remove or add them or basically reconfigure them however you want, and you can use the Roccat software to then go in and coordinate and set up for different games that you might be playing, whether it's League of Legends or World of Warcraft or other MMO games along those lines. Apart from that, of course, it's got a gray body. It's got a very nice finish on the outside, just like the Tyon had. Is this going to be available in multiple colors, or is this pretty much the one you're going with for now?
It will be pretty much the final color, right?
Okay, so
it's kind of gray color.
Kind of the gray finish. So this is the look that you guys are getting. There are 2 LEDs on it. On the Nyth, you can see one right here at the back. They're RGB, and then it's got a little accent LED along the edge there too, which can light up, and you can use the Roccat software to do all the color configuration, LED breathing. You can change those 2 LED colors independently, so lots of customization available there as well. It's also got the fin on top, just like the Tyon had, so you can use that with your fingers to go left and right. Kyle actually uses this button so frequently that he takes his tie-on everywhere with him, and when he doesn't have it, he gets very upset. Apart from that, though, you have a few extra buttons here up at the front. Well, actually, I didn't ask, what does this button do?
Well, actually, of course, you can make it
you can make it do whatever you want.
By default, it's a DPI switch.
DPI adjustment. This is a laser mouse with DPI up to 12,000, which is more than any reasonable person ever needs, but hey, it's available. And then the last cool thing about it is that the side piece is held on with a magnet. And Mikhail, would you mind helping me pop that off? I'm using a single hand right now. See? So just held on with magnets, and then you can swap that out and give yourself a wider stance or a narrower stance. I tend to like the kind of wider stance. It gives a little bit of rest for the index finger. And wait, that's not the index finger, that's the ring finger. But if you like different sizes of mice depending on the type of games that you play, really easy to swap those two out. And then here's the accessory kit that comes along with it. So you can see you've got wide buttons, so these take up 2 spots, or you have individual buttons that you can do for any of those side ones. And then you've got these blanks that you can put in as well. So you could actually blank out all the side buttons, which would be silly, but you can also use these individual blanks to blank out buttons. So basically you can set this up however you want. You can have 1 button, 2 buttons, all the way up to 12. And then let me show you guys the software that we're going to use to configure this as well. Here's a quick diversion, guys. This is the Roccat Nyth MKFX, now available with RGB LEDs, and this is Cherry MX Browns.
That's right.
Cherry MX Brown switches, which are the best ones. So we're not going to dwell on that too much, but it is available. Is that available now?
No,
it's available soon.
It will be available in the Cherry MX Brown, but it won't be available before the end of the year.
Okay, end of the year.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that one, because Roccat already has a really cool software suite for that they've been working on with the non-RGB ones, and I was always really impressed with that software suite. But speaking of software suite, this is the Roccat Swarm software suite, and they have actually consolidated this so that if you have multiple Roccat products, you only need one piece of software to control them all. Hooray, fantastic. So basically you have quite a few functions here. We're going to start off with the Alien FX, which has just been introduced to allow you to use visual effects with stuff like your keyboard, depending on the different games that you're using. And this is compatible with up to
40 games.
40 games. And this is going to do cool stuff like if you're taking a lot of damage in game, it's going to like give you visual effects on your keyboard or on your mouse or whatever you're using, which is really sweet. And the type of thing actually that when this LED backlit keyboards were first coming out, I was like, they should do something like that. And they did, so cool. But other than that, you can use this to, of course, control all of your other features for your Roccat products. You can use it to control Roccat Talk. You can use it to control your Nyth, of course, which is what we are about to show you. So you have a DPI switcher and that sort of thing. You have up here in the top left, you can pin your favorites. It's all modular, so you can sort of switch things around and set it up to your liking. You got your lighting control, you got your pointer speed, all the typical mouse clicks and everything. You also have profiles, which are down here at the bottom. So right now they've set up profiles for GTA 5, League of Legends, Dota 2, and CSGO. And then you could, of course, assign a button on the mouse to easily switch between those. But let's jump over to the button assignment for the Nyth so you guys can take a closer look at this. Because this is the fancy part. So as you can see, you can really easily go up and drop in like a 2-switch button or a single switch button. Then you can then go over and assign them to hotkeys or to a key on the keyboard or basically anything. I mean, as you might expect, a configurable mouse. You can also drop them into the trash and blank out the keys if you want blank spots, depending on maybe your grip or depending on how many buttons you want there, whether you want it more simple or more complex. You can do anything that your imagination desires. I'm gonna pitch that as Rockat's new tagline or something, but I don't know, maybe you guys already have one that's working well enough for you. Apart from that, of course, you have your advanced setting. You can do X and Y individual access control. You can set up your lighting over here with all those lighting effects we already talked about. You can even do sound feedback, then have the Roccat guy say things as you change between them. I've seen lots of videos of people doing that and it like freaks their cat out or something like that. It's beautiful. Change your polling rate, change your tracking control, and all the good stuff that you would expect. So it's all available on the Nyth. And here is one last look at it configured with 6 buttons on the side, which is also a very effective thing. If you need maybe fewer buttons but need to be able to distinguish between them a little bit more, that's another option. But guys, that's the Roccat Nyth, available in a couple months here for 120 bucks USD. Keep an eye out for it. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, and we'll be back with more Computex 2015 coverage.